What's up, guys? Today we're going over O Goshi, the major hip throw. This is a no-gi version, and we're going to go over a few things that make it easier to enter, rotate your body, get them up off the ground and onto the mat. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so when you're working on no-gi judo throws, there's some things that we need to address. There's distance, our grips, and our timing. No-gi judo relies a lot on close distance gripping. Obviously I'm not going to have the same amount of things to grab onto in no-gi as I would with a gi. The distance changes because we have to be a lot closer in order to make those grips effective. So no-gi judo relies more on combinations in order for him to react and give me the type of openings that I need to make my throw. Now we're going to go over O Goshi, and I'm going to attack a body lock in order to get him to open his hips for me to step across. So the first thing is, when I tie up in no-gi, if I try to go throw just from here, he's going to block my hips out, and I'm going to trip over him. So I'm going to go from holding tight, I'm going to cinch down on the overhook side, and I really want to focus on grabbing the knot of his elbow, kind of sliding down his tricep, and allowing my thumb and my middle finger to lock on these two knobby points of his elbow and lock in with my whole arm. I'm going to use my underhook and jack him up as I sag on his overhook to tilt him. At the same time I do that, I'm going to step around and get to his side, trying to shoot my shoulder under his armpit, attacking the body lock here. Now, if he doesn't do anything, I'm going to go ahead and just go body lock. It doesn't matter if his arm is in here. I'm going to lock, hips in, and I throw him. One of the common defenses here is that either he tries to rotate his hips away and reface me, or to try to bump his hips back. I'm going to use that reaction in order to step across. So it's not going to be the traditional cross step, back step, rotate. I'm going to do a step straight across his body as he bumps his hips back. So I sag on the underhook or the overhook, I jack the underhook up, skip step to the side, I grab right on his hip. I don't want to grab too tall around his shoulder. I want to grab right on his hip and pull his hips into me. Now, as this happens, he's going to bump his hips back. Now he opens up. I take the right side foot, step across, and I bring both feet together, pop my hips through, and I should be able to immediately lift him up on my lower back. One more time. Sag on the overhook, jack the underhook up. I bring the overhook side in, step. Now I've got a horse stance right on the side of him, grabbing the hip, squeezing in tight. He pumps his hips back. I take my right side, my underhook side foot, I step right in front of his far side leg, bring the feet together, load, and I want to pull tight on this arm here and keep it tight to me. This arm doesn't do much, it's just holding him against me. So a lot of times when people go for O Goshi, they try to do all arms. And when I do all arms, he's just going to kind of walk around me. And I don't really make any progress. I try to pull all arms and keep my hips in, and I just spin him around. So the arms don't do much. All I'm doing with my arms is holding him tight and pinning him, this turn here, and pinning his hips to my hips. I don't want to go too tall over his back, because when I go over his back, he can limp arm out. And now he has my back. I want to keep his hips right around the belt, glued to me. The only time I'm going to allow him to get any space once I'm here onto the side is for him to bump his hips back. Yeah. Now, I kind of bump my hips back too to exaggerate that. And now I step, boom, boom. Okay. Sag the overhook, jack the underhook up, step in, he pops his hips back, step across, squat first. Don't pull him onto you before you get under his hips or you're gonna fall. So squat first before you pull him onto you. Squat, scoop the hips, and rotate off. I add a little bit of a rotation at the very end with the arms, and I just point at the ground where I want him to land. I'm going to hold on tight to the overhook side. When we're practicing this, just to get started, don't go fast and try to make it look overly flashy. If you're not comfortably able to load them up on your hips, here, the finish is going to be way too hard if you can't get here. I don't want to have him stuck to the mat and trying to throw him, because now he's just going to kind of hop around. And if you're new to judo, it's really scary taking a fall. So we want to make sure that he's comfortable with the fact that I'm not going to do something too fast and really throw him off and have him panicked, trying to look for the ground and possibly post, or post with his hand or post with his leg in order to stop the throw and save himself, which can result in injuries for him and me. So let's go nice and slow in the beginning. We always go slow. Step around, step across, load. Now, once we get him loaded, Austin is actually going to try to stay a little bit straight with his back. Yeah, that allows him to easily fall over me. A real common thing when people first start trying to take falls from judo is that they're afraid. They don't want to hit the mat. It hurts. One of the things that makes it harder is when you go to throw somebody is if they buckle their hips back and they buckle their knees down. They're trying to sit down and absorb a little bit of that throw. So one thing you want to focus on when you're first taking falls is having a stiff back and not trying to immediately find your balance again. So go ahead and have a knees bent posture. And now if I pull you, just do anything you can to still feel in balance. Yeah, stepping. Yeah, he might freak out and try to push your hand off. You don't want this. It means he doesn't trust you. So one thing that makes it a lot easier to attack any throws or practice any throws, is stiff back. And now, when he holds this posture, like he's got a board running from his head all the way to his lower hips, is when I pull him, any little change in where his head is will result in him being off balance. Right about here, if I let go, he stumbles. Same thing in any direction. If I push his head just slightly past his heels, he's going to be off balance, and he feels the need to step out. So you have to resist that urge as the uki, the one taking the throw. If I go for O Goshi, and he sits his hips back, and he kind of sits down, and he leans his head forward, allowing me to take him here, it's going to be really hard to get under him and lift him up because he's resisting it. So what I want him to do, what you want your training partner to do, is he can take a little bit of a bent knee stance, but once I go for my throw, I want him to just stand up nice and tall, and his head should go straight across, his feet should go straight back. Yeah, right here, it makes it much easier to lift him up and make sure that you have the proper technique. And now he has to be confident in his break falls. Do not try to fold and just like slide off. Go ahead and like get loose here, Austin. Yeah. And now this will result in a real floppy fall, and it hurts a lot more. Even that one probably stung. And it was really slow. So that's one of the reasons why it's really hard to learn judo, is because people are really afraid of it, and they hurt themselves more than the other person hurts them. So as you're going through it, just straighten your back up as the uki, and then we'll rotate through and spot the fall. So one more time all the way through. Trap the overhook, hike the arm up on the underhook side, step across, load the hips. He's got to step back. Now, once I hold him here, we're going to go really slow. I take the underhook side and I point right where I want him to fall. He should land all at once. If you're landing shoulder, hip, foot, pop, 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 then you're a little too floppy. You need to come around all at once. Sag, I attack the body lock. He pops his hips back, step across. Nice and smooth. You don't want to go too fast. You can build up to that. We'll go one more time all the way through. Let's go square. That's another thing too, is when we go O Goshi or any big turning throw, we want to practice with our partner standing square as opposed to having a leg back. Go ahead, take a leg back. It'll make it a lot harder to get in, and it'll make me attack a different throw. So we'll stand 50-50. Go ahead, bend a little bit, yeah. Sag on the overhook, hike the underhook up. Grip the hips, he hips back. Step, step, low, all the way through.